Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan. If you're new here, happy 2023. We are doing a little 2023 reset with me. So during the break, that break between Christmas and New Year's, I really like to do a lot of like goal setting, tuning inward, setting intentions, and really reflecting on the year that just passed. And yeah, so today I've already done all those things and I've gone through essentially everything that I want to accomplish this year. So I thought I would take you guys along and go through all the different goals and milestones and habits that I'm trying to embody in 2023. I'll also share my vision board with you guys and give you some tips on how you can create your own vision board. But yeah, I'm really excited. I love watching videos like these because I feel like it gives me so much inspiration for just like bettering yourself and making yourself feel good. And I'm not the type of person who likes to set like huge goals in terms of like huge goals in the sense of like if I was like losing weight, for example, like I don't want to just like lose 10 pounds and like be done with that. I really want to embody like other health habits that if that's actually what you want to achieve, like that's okay, but other health habits that are very like intentional with your overall like holistic health and wellness. The other example is like money, for example. Like I want to save X amount of dollars. Like that is a great goal to have, but I also like to have like different goals and intentions around my money mindset and being like financially secure and having proper systems in place for my money. So I don't want it to just like end at the goal. I want to be very like intentional with just like the habits, routines, behaviors that I do in my life. So I'm so excited that you're here. Unfortunately, cute little Abel here is gonna get blocked because I'll put a screen grab of basically what I'm going through with you guys so that you can follow along as I'm like sharing. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing for me is YouTube. So if you're new here, I started my channel actually a couple years ago, but I never took it very seriously. It was honestly just like a passion project, like an outlet, like a creative outlet for me. And I would just post essentially when things were going on in my life. And I would say in the last maybe like 6 months-ish, I'd have to go back and look, but I started taking it more seriously. And what I mean by that is just like being more consistent with my posting, being more structured with my posting, deciding for me, like I do want YouTube to be a part of my life and my future in terms of like potentially financial aspects, but also just like the memory side of being able to share what's going on in my life. So I really, really want YouTube to be a main focus of my life this year. And right now my goal is posting 2 times a week. So I post Wednesdays and Saturdays. That was my same schedule from last year, but I wasn't very consistent with it. So I'm gonna aim to just like really focus on that. So the first thing that I have is YouTube milestones. So over Vlogmas, my channel grew quite a bit since the beginning. It might not sound like a lot to you, but I got almost 100 new subscribers, which is big for me because I'm just a very small channel. So I basically created these YouTube milestones of like 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000 subscribers. So my goal for 2023 is to gain 1,000 subscribers. The reason being is because like that number can be anything, but once you hit 1,000 subscribers and you have a certain watch time, which obviously will depend on my types of videos as well, and like if people are watching my videos, you can apply, I think it's like the creator, I don't know what it's actually called, like YouTube creator, but basically you can start to monetize your channel, which will be a very exciting milestone to achieve. So that is my goal. The next one I have is just good habits. So what I mean by this is I really want to implement like new habits, and some of them are going to be habits that I've already implemented towards the end of 2022, but I want to focus on habits that are like very daily. So I have a section that's just like habits in general, and it might be a bit repetitive because I do have a section that is like daily habits, and these are things that I want to focus on every day, which I'll get into in a second. But these are kind of like just overall habits, whether it's like weekly, monthly, daily, that I really want to focus on. So the first one is doing my daily morning routine, and this is even on weekends. So again, if you're new here, I have talked about like struggling with my morning routine, where some weeks I will do it very consistently and I'll feel very good, and then there's other days where I don't do it and I literally end up having a crappy day, because that is really what sets the day up for me. It's like the foundation of like how well my day is gonna go. And so I really want to be strict about, no matter what time I'm like getting up, like maybe something happened and I'm getting up earlier or later or whatever, like I want to make sure that I'm making time for the daily morning routine that I have. I recently got a Yeti, so it's not down here. It's kind of like the size of Daniel's hydro flask, I think. Well, this is 32 ounces, mine is 26 ounces, I think. But I got it for Christmas, and my goal is to drink at least 3 of those Yetis per day, because I really want to up my hydration game. I don't need to like convince anyone, obviously, how good it is to hydrate, but I really want to like hydrate more, but also see if it has like an impact on my skin. I have very dry skin, so I want to see if that helps with it, and it's not bad to drink water. The next one is move my body daily. So this will be a mix of walk, workout, stretch, but I want to make sure I'm like very intentional with moving my body. I work on a computer all day, so I sit a lot of the day, and so I want to make sure that I'm being very intentional of like moving my body. And if for some reason, like say it's raining, so we're not going for a walk with Abel, and maybe I didn't get to work out, like I want to make sure I'm doing some sort of movement, like stretching at the end of the night, just to like move my body and keep things flowing. This next habit is going to be such a hard one, because I don't know why, but I'm so bad with this, but it's going to sleep and waking up at the same time every day, and keeping in mind that I want to be consistent with 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So I have the Aura Ring. I've done a review on it before, but I think I'll do a more in-depth one maybe in a few weeks or so, especially if I start to implement this. But one of the things I constantly hear about is the benefits of waking up every day at the exact same time. Actually, and it apparently doesn't even matter what time you go to bed at, but you really want to like start your circadian rhythm, get up in the morning at the same time, and that's actually really good for your nervous system. So I want to make sure that every night I'm going to bed, or like I'm in bed to go to sleep by 10:30, and then I also read for half an hour. I read nonfiction I read fiction in bed at night before going to sleep, and I want to read for 30 minutes, and then essentially like lights out by 11, and I want to wake up by 7 every morning. So that will give me 8 hours. That is what I'm going to try my best. For some reason, like sometimes I will just like go to bed late for whatever reason, and then other times I find I just like, because Daniel gets up at 6, so he kind of like obviously wakes me up because his alarm goes off, and I have this weird thing where I end up just like going fully back to sleep, and I end up sleeping till 8 sometimes, because it's just like I feel like 7 comes so quick. I don't know. I don't have any excuses, like, or they're literally all excuses. But that is what I want to focus on for this year, is I really want to be mindful of like going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. This next one is limit alcohol consumption. So I talked about this last year in a few vlogs, but I'm being very mindful with consuming alcohol. I just don't feel like it's serving me anymore. Even when I have a glass, I just don't feel the best the next day. I honestly just feel tired. I don't get the best sleep, because obviously when you drink alcohol, you actually can't get into a REM stage of sleep, which is one of the most important stages of your sleep to help like rejuvenate your body for the morning. So yeah, I just don't think it's like serving me anymore. I'm not happy like drinking alcohol, and so I'm trying to cut back. I've never been a person who's like cold turkey cut something out forever, so I put in brackets that I want to just like, if I want to drink, it's like major events, like for example like Christmas, like maybe my birthday, New Year's is obviously an example, and like I can be mindful with, you know, if I want to, I want to, but I want to just like stick to that. Like going out on a Friday night with my girlfriends or with Daniel is not a reason to drink. I can still have fun without it. This is a big one for me. Prioritize weekly meal prep so I have access to healthy foods. Daniel and I have talked about food so much lately. Like, if you've been following along on the vlogs, like, we keep having conversations about it, and we want to get really close to eating as close to the source as possible, and really focus on whole foods and getting away from so many things that are processed. And obviously, like, a good starting point for that is like making our own dressings and sauces, like maybe going to a baker for our bread versus like buying like a store-bought brand, or you know, cooking with whole vegetables versus like something that's packaged. So this is like going to be a big one. We haven't been the best with meal prepping because we live at my parents' house right now. If you're new here, we lived in Victoria out west for a year, and then we moved back home for our wedding. And there's like some plans in the works, which I'll share in a later vlog. But in the meantime, we are living at my parents' home, and it's like my sisters live here. Sometimes my parents are here, sometimes they're out west as well. And I don't know, it's kind of an excuse, but we just like haven't been on our like meal planning game because it's like kind of like a full house of people, and so sometimes we just think like, oh, we'll just like make whatever and it's no big deal. But we really want to focus on meal prepping and like having access to healthy foods, like when you were snacky or when you want to have lunch, etc. The next one is meditate twice daily. So I want to do a guided and a silent. So every morning I'm actually really good with meditation. I do the Superhuman app, which is that Mimi Bouchard's app. If you haven't heard of it, it's really good, but they have like guided meditations. I do them every morning around like 10 minutes, and I love it. It's part of my morning routine. But one thing I'm going to be starting to do, which I've literally never done before, I've maybe like tried it, but I've never actually like committed to it, is doing a meditation in silence. Hi. So just like sitting with my thoughts, like allowing my mind to go wherever it needs to go, and just like being in silence. I find that doing the guided ones is really great, but it obviously is like talking to you and helping you feel a certain way. And I think sometimes it's important to just like sit with your thoughts and be in silence and allow whatever is going to come up, and then obviously have a moment to reflect. So twice daily is going to be a new start for me. The next one is limit screen time on my phone. So I want to aim for 1.5 or 1.5 hours a day on my phone in terms of screen time. And this is like, it sounds like I don't have still a long time on my phone, but for whatever reason, the last couple of months, my screen time has been so high. I think just like in terms of the work that I do, like being on Daily Well, having like a digital marketing business, like being online for work, just like social in general, my screen time was like almost 4 hours a day. And that just to me sounds crazy. So I really want to nip that in the butt. And I have tons of like settings on in terms of like do not disturb and like working and yeah, just like different screen time settings. But I don't know what was going on, but the last couple of months it's been really bad. So I want to get back to a really good place with that. The last good habit that I have for 2023 is I want to work at a coffee shop twice a week. So this might seem like a random habit, but I found that in these months, at least, like when it's winter, it's dark here, I kind of get into a slump because I'm like, it's dark when I wake up and it's dark when I finish work, and I'm at home all day just like working, and I'm in the same environment, and I get kind of like sick of it after a while. So I think like one good habit that I could have for myself this year is to just like switch up the environment that I'm in, even if it's just for a couple hours, to get out of the house and just like do something new, like be around the energy of other people, I think is really good as well. So those are my good habits for 2023. Again, not all of these are going to be like daily habits, but that's okay. Okay, the next thing we have is goals for 2023. So I like to separate my goals into 5 buckets, and those buckets are health, personal, career, financial, and relationships. So I like to set goals for each of those buckets. Again, these can be small or big. It's up to you. They can also be more so intentions instead of like full-blown goals all the time. What is it, baby? Oh my gosh. Okay. The first one for health is go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. I used to actually be really good with this. This was like my normal routine. But again, if you've been following along, you know I've been like struggling with going to the gym. And I honestly think I have turned into someone who really struggles with the winter months and like seasonal depression because my motivation is so low. So my focus is to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. This can be a mix of workouts, whether it's working out by myself, group fitness, going to yoga, spin, whatever it is, 3 to 4 times a week. Again, some of these might sound repetitive, so I apologize, but cut alcohol consumption. So that is like a focus on my health. I want to lose 10 pounds of body fat weight. So I want to be very specific with saying like, I'm not someone who actually weighs myself. I don't really look at the scale at all. But I do know that because of diet as well, there's like body fat weight that I do want to lose. But I don't want to like change my weight in terms of the number. Like I still want to continue to gain muscle and be more toned in that way. But in terms of like the body fat itself, I just want to be like more mindful with losing that. And I put a number there because I didn't know like, you know, how do you set a goal and like get through it if you don't have like a specific thing that you're looking for. But yeah, so I don't want to like pay too much attention to the number on this one, but yeah, I just want to focus on like the body fat itself, not necessarily like the number at the end of the day. One thing Daniel and I have been doing is going to the sauna quite a bit. So I want to go to the sauna weekly, and that's 1 to 2 times a week. It's so good for you and your body, and we've been doing the cold plunge as well, but especially with like working out, it's really good for helping with recovery and circulation in the body. The next one is, I put this under health because like more so mental health, but I want to spend Sundays off social media. So a few years ago I used to do this and I used to be really good with it, but I don't know, just kind of like fell off the wagon with it. And I really do miss that time like spent off social media. So I'm really going to focus on Sundays, like just being fully offline and not worrying about posting anything or sharing, and just like having that time to kind of tune inwards. And the last one is continue to invest in coaching bi-weekly. So I currently work with a coach every 2 weeks. I love it and I don't want to stop anytime soon, so I continue to keep that as a goal for my mental health. The next bucket is personal, and this first one might be a foreshadow, but I want to move back out west with Daniel and Abel. I'm going to share more about that in a future vlog, but for now I lived out west with him for a year. I love it, I miss it, and I want to go back. So that is going to be a goal for this year. My next one is launching a podcast. So that is actually already happening. I think like when this vlog is live, the podcast might be coming out. If it's not already out, it's like coming out like a week later, so I will be sure to link it in future videos. But it is the Daily Well podcast, so I'm so excited that is happening, so I can already check that off. The next one is vlog twice a week. So what I mean by that is upload twice a week. So I talked about this before, but I want to be very focused on YouTube this year, and I want to be very consistent with my upload schedule. So I'm going to be vlogging twice a week. I want to treat myself to self-care monthly. So this could have gone in health, but I decided to put it in personal because it was just for me. But whether that's like facial, nails, massage, whatever it is, I want to do something for me each month, and not have it be like a big thing. I just want to make sure that I'm like treating myself and having like a little date with myself. The next one is read 1 nonfiction and 1 fiction book each month. So last year I actually had a goal of reading 1 book a month, and I did that. So I did read 1 fiction book each month, and now I'm also going to add in like 1 nonfiction book. So I actually haven't been on my nonfiction game book in a while, because every day I do read the 101 Essays to Change the Way You Think. I think it's by Brianna Wiest. I don't know how to say her name. But I'm gonna like get back into like reading. I really love like self-development, personal growth books, so I'm gonna get back into that. The last one is get pregnant, which is probably crazy to say out loud. Who knows what will happen, but yeah, that's like the next step for Daniel and I feel very excited about it, but I'm not gonna like put any pressure on myself. But I do love manifesting and I like putting things out there, so it's out there. The next one is career. So the first one is monetize YouTube and hit 1,000 subscribers. So I talked about that already. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I can't remember the watch time. I want to say it's like 40 hours of watch time, I think, before you can start to monetize. So that is going to be a goal for me. I want to host 1 to 2 Daily Well events each month. So if you're new here, Daily Well is my new baby. It is a wellness brand, and a main focus is in-person events, and I want to host 1 to 2 each month, and that happens in November, December, and I have events planned for this month as well already, so we are doing it. I want to launch some seasonal merch for Daily Well, so I would love to launch like some like crew necks that have different like wellness sayings, like that are comfy, cozy, maybe some hats, candles, things like that. I have a bigger goal is to host a Daily Well retreat. So a main focus of Daily Well is the event. So I would love to put together a women's retreat. And that can either be like local, like pretty close to the area, but my big goal, which might not happen this year, would be like somewhere hot, like in Costa Rica, for example. But we'll see where the retreat happens, but like a weekend thing. This is like for my regular job, but getting a raise and extending my contract with them because I really do love it. So that would be great. I'd love to get my first brand deal. So again, putting myself out there more in terms of social media and YouTube. So I would love to get my first like paid brand deal and a brand that I actually really like, because I want to make sure that I'm not taking any brand deals that just like don't align with my lifestyle already. And the last one for a career is do a speaking engagement. So this can be big or small. I also consider that like being on someone else's podcast. I also consider that like doing something on stage or like a training for another coach. Like I just want to do some sort of speaking engagement and put myself out there. Okay, the next section is all about finances. So I'll just go through these quick because obviously they're just like monetary side of things. But the first one is pay off MP, which is Mint and Poppy small debt. So I just have a little bit of like business, and obviously like tax season will come, so just paying off that. I wanted to save 10,000 in my TFSA. I put John in brackets because that's my financial advisor. So yeah, that's my goal, to save 10,000 in my tax-free savings account with him. I want to make at least 1,000 extra income each month on top of my regular pay. So what that means is I feel like I have a lot of things going on outside of just like my normal 9 to 5. And I want to try and maximize that, so I'm bringing in $1,000 extra a month. And that can be through eventually like YouTube, through my podcast, like social media. I work with like a couple other businesses on their social media, like any type of like branding work that I do. The Daily Well events, like things like that. Like it can be a variety of things, but I really want to focus on maximizing those areas. I want to get better at tracking my expenses monthly, so I want to organize my finances. I used to be really good with this, and for whatever reason last year I just like did not do it, and I honestly felt like it was quite chaotic. So I want to make sure that I'm really like tracking my expenses, seeing what is going in, what is coming out, and then being mindful with my spending. And the last one is because I have like some hefty like savings goals. I didn't put a dollar amount to this last one, but it's contribute to like a life account each month, and that is essentially like an account with Daniel and I. We don't necessarily have a plan to like buy a house or do something like that in the near future, but obviously those things will come, so I want to contribute to that kind of account that I know that's what that money is for. And I just put whatever I can because I think each month will be different based off what's coming in and what's going out. The last one for my 2023 goals is relationships. So I want to continue to go on a weekly date night with Daniel, which we did really good with this last year. We actually made it like a very good effort to go on a date every week. And if we didn't go out, we would just like make things at home. But I want to also try like new things, like not always go to like the same restaurant or do the same thing. So that's going to be a focus. I've had this on my goals before and I've definitely sucked at it, but I want to FaceTime or call a friend or family member once a week. So I find that we get so reliant on text message and just like communicating via social media that we just forget to actually like call or like FaceTime someone. And a lot of my friends now have children and life is busy, so I'm seeing them less and less, and I just want to make sure that I'm being mindful and like keeping up with our relationship. And it doesn't need to be like a good old like 1 hour conversation because I know people are busy, but I want, even if it's just like a 10-minute call, like I want to catch up with people. I'm trying to drink my coffee before it gets cold. I want to go on a girls' weekend trip, so I would love to plan something again at some point in the year to just like go away with my girlfriend. My friend Tara and I always went away every single year together pre-pandemic, and so I would love to just like start that routine again with her. I think it's so fun to have like girl time, so I want to focus on that. Take myself out on a solo date once a month. This can fall into the whole like self-care routine every month, but I want to just like go out by myself and like do something. Like I don't always want to feel like I have to bring someone along with me or like do something with Daniel. I think it's important to have a good relationship with yourself and be very independent. So I want to like take myself out and treat myself to a little date. And relationships again, the last one is at least one night a week is like hang out with a friend if I can. So I think again it's important to, I like can easily just like hermit in my little bubble and do my thing and work because I have 100 things going on. Obviously it's like so easy to hang out with Daniel, we live together, but I want to be very like intentional with like putting myself out there, maintaining my friendships and hanging out with my girlfriends. Okay, so those might have sounded like a lot because obviously I have at least like 5 for each section, but as you can see, like not all of them are gigantic. Like some of them are kind of day-to-day habits, some of them are just like more so intentions, and I don't think that a lot of them are going to be hard to achieve if my focus is that like from like a holistic perspective and it's all like leading up to a bigger goal, which is obviously like living a life that I want to. So those are my 2023 goals. The last section that I will get into is the daily habits. So again, these might be like a little bit repetitive to the first section of good habits, but these are things that I literally want to do every single day in 2023, which is crazy. And who knows if it'll happen. Like I'm sure I'll have days where I don't do something, but these are things that I might even continue to add to, but I really want to be intentional with doing these things daily because these things make me feel good. So meditate, I already talked about that. So I want to meditate every day. I want to go to bed by 10:30 and I want to wake up by 7 a.m. every morning. I want to have 30 minutes of reading before sleep, and I rate 30 minutes because I can get really bad and end up reading for like an hour and a half if I am into a good book. So I want to like make sure I'm like, okay, no, I'm just giving myself 30 minutes. I want to take vitamins. So I am like totally hit or miss with this stuff, and it's just like whenever I feel like it, or if it's like right in front of me. The main ones that I take are vitamin D, omega, and magnesium. So that might change throughout the year, but I really want to focus on taking my vitamins daily with my breakfast. Magnesium I take at night though. Drinking 3 of my Yetis each day. I want to do at least 15 minutes of walking a day. This is going to be a hard one because we get a lot of rain in these next couple months, but I really want to be intentional with like moving my body, and 15 minutes of walking is not a lot. This is a new one that I'm implementing with my morning routine, but also I guess like a night portion, is gratitude. I used to be religious with the 5-minute journal, and then I finished it and I didn't get a new one. I don't know if we'll get another 5-minute journal, but right now I'm just writing in like a plain notebook, like gratitude. So I'm starting the morning with what I'm grateful for, and I'm ending the night with like prompts of like when did I feel worthy today, like what am I grateful for today, like what happened today that made me feel good, like how did I show confidence today, like things like that, to just like get myself in a more like present and positive mindset. I want to limit my screen time to less than 1.5 hours. Like obviously that's a daily routine. Stick to my morning routine every single day. So my morning routine, I've shared it like tons of times on my channel, but it's I wake up, I make a warm lemon water, I meditate, I journal, and I read, and then I get into the whole like walking able, making breakfast, coffee, all that stuff. Spend 15 minutes in the morning in sunshine. Again, this is hard during these months because when I wake up, there's usually like the sun hasn't risen yet, but I've just been listening to so many podcasts and reading different articles about the power of getting sunshine right when you wake up in the morning, and it's so good for your circadian rhythm. So I want to do my best to just like get sunlight on my face and into my eyes in the morning. And the last one is floss. I've talked about it before on my channel, but I don't know about you guys, but like I am just like not a lover of flossing. I think it's annoying to do, and obviously until you get into it, it hurts in my teeth. So I've always been pretty crappy with it, but I think oral health is really important. So, you know, my dentist tells me every single time, but I really want to get into flossing and being good with it. I'm back on the train of doing it every night, so just got to stick with it, but it is something I want to do daily. So those are my goals, habits, intentions, milestones for 2023. I'm very excited for this year. I'm very much like a doer and action taker, so I feel confident in myself that I'll be able to achieve a lot of these things. I don't know if like all of them will come to fruition, but I like to put things out there. So the last thing I wanted to show you guys was my vision board. So I made a version for my phone, and then I will put my vision board here on the screen. So I'm very excited. So as you can see, like some of these you can probably like picture what they are, but I have like, you know, a hand, like a guy and a girl holding hands. So like more time with Daniel, getting pregnant maybe, starting a podcast, there's like fitness, like a body, like looking and feeling good. A little cabin, which reminds me of out west, more self-care, launching merch for Daily Well, like the wellness sweater, more community events, like so bringing women together, vlogging, all that good stuff. So this is my vision board, and I wanted to share how I did it. So you can create an account on Canva if you don't have one. It's completely free, so canva.com. And then in there, you're just gonna get the screen size. You can Google the screen size of whatever you're creating for. So I think for a desktop, it's like 1920 by 1080 maybe. Like you'll have to look it up, whatever your screen size is, and it will give you the dimensions. And basically I just go on Pinterest and I look at my goals, and I kind of just type in things like, you know, like fitness aesthetic, like wellness aesthetic, or self-care, healthy, money, relationship, things like that into the search bar, and you'll see like different things and pictures come up. I just save the ones and download the ones that resonate with me and that like speak to basically what I'm trying to achieve, and then you can import those into Canva, and you can just like you'll upload them, or you can actually drag and drop all the files from your downloads folder, and then you will just drag and drop them into your desktop screen that you're making, and you just kind of like move things around where you want them to be to show up on the screen. And when you're done, you can just download it as a JPEG or PNG and set it as your desktop background. Both, you could do this for your phone and your laptop, and I think it's just really good to always like keep it top of mind, like look at it constantly, and like remind yourself of your goals. And I also think it's important to check in with your goals at least on a monthly basis to see how you're doing with everything. So that is everything for my 2023 reset. comment down below if you've set your goals already. I would love to hear something that you're trying to do for 2023 and what you're focused on, whether it's a goal, intention, habit. Let me know down below. But I am so excited for this year, and I'm so grateful for all of you that are here today, and I'm excited to see where my channel goes this year. So I will catch you in my next video.